Okay. So going forwards in string shapes, we have the word cage. The C string shape, 3, 4, 5. The A string shape, 5, 6. They're sharing notes. The G string shape, 6, 7 root. The E string shape, 7 root 2. And the D string shape, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Going backwards, we have an increasing pentatonic scale. D, E, G, A, C. Just keep going. D, E, G, A, C. Okay, it's true in cages. Is it? Yes. Now, when we want to talk about going in fifths, we have to skip every other string shape. So the fifth of C is G, so we got 3, 4, 5. Skip the A and go to 6, 7 root. We don't have any sharing there. And notice the 6, 7 root is the next string shape on the next string up. So we've got 3, 4, 5. Fifth of C string shape is 6, 7 root. Fifth of G string shape is 2, 3, 4. Right? Because remember, we're doing pentatonic scale, so it's root 2, 3, 4. The fifth of the D string shape is the A string shape, which is 5, 6. And the fifth of the A string shape is the E string shape, which is 7 root 2. And once again, back to the fifth of the E string shape is, guess what? It's not B, because there's no B string shape. It's back to C. Okay? Because if you look at a long C shape, go to its fourth, and you have an E string shape, an E-shaped chord. And the fourth of a chord, okay, is that chord's fifth. The fourth of a chord, all right, is the fifth of that chord. So the fifth of the E string shape is the C string shape, and vice versa. Sorry I messed that up. So if we look at these now in string shapes, we look at this A string shape right here. This is the 5, 6. Everywhere you look at, that's a 5, 6. They're all over the keyboard. Okay, 5, 6. This is all in the key of C, but you could do it in any key. 5, 6. Okay, these ones are the same. Okay, they're the same. So when we look at that just as a 5, 6, then we can look in over here in any of what? 4, 8 directions, I guess, but really any of 4 directions here. So you go to the right, you're going in the word cage. So C-A-G, A goes to G string shape. 5, 6 goes to 6, 7 root. Go to the left, you're going increasing pentatonic. A goes to C. A goes to C. A goes to C. Increasing pentatonic. Go up, you go to the fifth of A. To the E string shape. Go down, you go to the fourth of A. Okay? Or A being the fifth of D. D, you go up, you go in the fifth. Alright, so that's what this little P4 tuning chart's about. So if you're on the A string shape in the middle of nowhere, and you're just doing this and it sounds good. Okay, you want to go to the E string shape, but you got to shape fit it. Down below we got the D. Now it's interesting, how do you fit these together? We're going to show that now. Alright, it just took me a couple of charts ahead to realize how I'm going to fit these together. We have the A5, 6 here. Above it is the E. It's going to be going to the 7 root 2 like that. And then below it is the 2, 3, 4 D string shape. So in effect, we've got a 7L diagram. A 7 and an L. Isn't that interesting? I find that very interesting. So that's how I learned it. So let's get this right. Let's go to cursor mode a minute. Zoom in on this 7L diagram here. We're going to draw our 7L. Okay, we'll do it in line mode. We got to get a nice bright color for line mode too. That was my string color. So here's our 7 right there. Excuse my drawing. And here's our L. So that pattern, which is a 3-string pattern, DAE, is an S3D. And the S3D has a shape, and that shape is the 7L shape. Okay? So that's the shape of the S3D. So when you have your middle part, which is the 5, 6, below it we have going off, we have a positive whole step, half step, and above it we have half step, whole step, a negative half step, whole step to the left. And that's the 7L diagram. So let's look at some shapes here, shall we? We've got our 7L right here, which is an S3D. It's just the D string shape and what's on top of it, and how we're going to fit the A string shape to that 7L, with the E is going to be the one that defines it goes over 1, like that. So the E always goes over 1 because we've got the 7th there. When we add the 4 to the D, it goes to the right one. When we add the 7th, these are the diatonics, these are the pentatonic square. So this is an S3D. Okay, it's not an SDL, which is a long D, which includes the 4 and 7. The S3D was actually 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. It's like a building block of pentatonic scales. Something like that. So let's look at some other shapes. We have the S2C. It's like an L7. Look at that. But the way I remember the S2C is just, it's half step, whole step, which is, and then whole step, half step. It's the C string shape, which is 3, 4, 5, below the G string shape, which is 6, 7 root. So when you put the L7 below, the S2C below the S3D, okay, then you're going to come up with something. Let's see if we can find it, find it on this chart here. Right here, if we put an S2C here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, underneath an S3D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, okay, then we pretty much have 7 to 7 here. Okay. Now, can we play that? Yes, if you know how to adjust or modulate the pattern for the tuning warp. Alright, but if we start from that 3 and we want to go 3 to 3 here, first of all, let's look at, let's see what we're not looking at. If we're going to do a 6-string explanation here, right, a 6-string pattern here, first we're not looking at the other strings. Okay? Then we have a tuning warp, a tuning adjustment, it's a third. So instead of going root to 4th, we have to go root to 3 there. So what we're going to do with this, okay, I hope this works, is we're going to move that one over 1 fret. And now we have our third here. We got a 6-string situation here. We're not really even having